Hello students, so in the last class we have learned about the various species. We have learned that there are so many species, around 1.4 million species we have discovered, and 8.7 million species are about to be discovered. It has been estimated. Now, so many species, and it becomes so difficult for us to understand, to know about each and every species. So what do we need to do? Which we have been doing since a very long time, that is classify the species. Now the question arises, how to classify the species? One is, shall we classify them randomly, or shall we classify them based on the moving and non-moving like Aristotle has done? Or shall we be more specific, like you have studied in your lower classes? Now we go for more specific characteristics to classify the species. Okay, so that we can take all the characteristics into account. So for what are the steps of classification? What are the steps of categorizing species, different species into convenient categories that we are going to learn about today. So the process of classification of species, categorizing of species is known as taxonomy. Taxonomy. What is taxonomy? Taxonomy is made from two words, taxa plus nome. Taxa means category, a group, and nome consists of rules. So categorizing a species based on certain rules is known as taxonomy. So what are the steps that we have to follow in taxonomy that we are going to learn today? First one, characterization. What is characterization? Characterization is listing all the characteristics of a species. Now, what do we mean by characteristics? All the observable features of a species. Okay. For example, we have seen a dog, so it is having four legs, it is having a tail, it is having a long snout, it is having fur on its body. Okay. So that are known as all the observable characteristics. Now, if you see here, this is an organism. Let's suppose we have discovered an organism. So what we are seeing here, it is having two eyes which are similar to cats. It is having small ears. It is having fur on its body. It looks like a cat, but it's a big cat. It is having spots on its body. It is having a tail. Okay. It is having retractable claws. And if we hear its sound, it can roar. So these are the characteristics of this organism, and this is known as characterization. Okay. Now what we are going to do is identification. How do we identify that organism? Once we have listed all the characteristics of the organism, we are going to compare it with other similar organisms. For example, here a lion, and here is another animal. Okay, this one is a jaguar. This one is a jaguar. Okay, now what are the similarities? If we look at their eyes, they are also having cat-like eyes. The other animals also having a cat-like appearance, but they are big cats. They all are having retractable claws. They all can roar, produce a loud sound. So what does this mean? This means that they are having certain similarities. What we are going to do? We are going to put them in one group which is having all those similarities. So this is how we are identifying. Now, these animals are having characteristics similar to cats. But are they completely similar to cats? Cats are smaller in size. These are very big cats. This is one main difference that we can see. Okay. Cats cannot roar. I have never heard a cat roaring. Okay, so cats cannot roar. They purr. They meow. Okay. They don't roar, meow. They don't do that. Okay. So cats can purr, they cannot roar. So that is a difference. So what we are doing here, we are checking the similarities, we are checking the dissimilarities. Okay. So what we have done now, after that, we are going to, once we have seen, okay, these are the similarities, these are the dissimilarities. Now we are going to put them in a brackets in different convenient categories. So let's come again. This is the organism and it is similar to the lion and the jaguar. Okay, but it is dissimilar to the cat. So lion and jaguar, we already know they are known to us and they belong to the genus Panthera. Panthera are the genus of all organisms which are big cats. They are big cats and have a roar. They roar, they produce a sound. Okay. And this organism is also having those similarities, so we will put it in this category. Okay. Cats, although they look like cats, but they are big cats. Cats are smaller ones, so they are put in a different genus, that is Felis. They cannot roar. But if we see, one characteristic is similar with the cats, and that is retractable claws. Okay, so cats are put under Felis, and what we see that there is a similarity between Panthera and Felis genus that they are having retractable claws. So we need to put them in a category which is having those similarities. Okay, so we will put them under the family Felidae. This is we are classifying further. So now this family consists of the cat-like animals, okay, which all are having retractable claws. Okay, that's fine. And all of these organisms are carnivorous. They survive primarily on the flesh of other animals. So that's fine. We have put it into other categories. Now we need to see whether they are having some similarities with other organisms. We will check that. Okay. Now, if we see, we are having another group of organisms which consist of dog, wolf, jackal, coyote, fox, and most of them are omnivores also, and they are carnivorous also. Means yes, they if you give them flesh, they will like flesh. Like my dog will like to eat chicken more than a bread. Okay. So yes, they like flesh. Means they are carnivorous too. So can we put them in one category which connects the cat-like organisms which are also eating flesh and these organisms also? Yes, we can put them into one category that is carnivora. Okay, so carnivora will include all those animals which are flesh eating, which like to eat flesh. So this is how we have come from a specific characteristic to a very broad characteristic to flesh eating animals. Now if we see more characteristics, so all of these animals, they are able to reproduce and they reproduce young ones. They produce young ones and they are not laying eggs. They are not egg laying animals. They are producing their young ones. Means what we have studied in lower classes, they all are mammals. So shouldn't we club them into one category along with other mammals? There are other mammals like humans are mammals, monkeys are mammals. Why not we put them in one category? So we are going to club them into one category of mammalia. Okay. So these all are mammals. Now one more similarity is there. They all are having a vertebral column. And if we look for other species, they are also having vertebral column. Fishes are having a vertebral column. reptiles, amphibians, birds are having vertebral column. So we can put all of these mammals and the apes, and then we are having reptilia and fishes, that is spices, and amphibia, all together coming into the same phylum of vertebrata. Okay. Now, vertebrata belongs to what? Along with invertebrates. Invertebrates में आपका हो गया like spider, cockroach, butterfly. These are all invertebrates, but these are all heterotrophic. They can move around. So vertebrates, invertebrates together will come under Animalia. So this is how we classify. And you remember this all started with characterization. Until and unless you are having observable characteristics, you so you can see here that we have made the classification of the organisms. Okay. Now, once we have classified the organism, we need to name the organism. And when we name the organism, what we are going to see here, we have to follow certain rules. So what are those rules here? The rules were given by Carolus Linnaeus. Okay. And these rules are named as binomial nomenclature because what he said, that name of a species should have a generic epithet, that is the genus name, and the species name. Okay. And what he said, then genus should come first, and after that the species name will come. It should be in Greek or Latin. Why Greek or Latin? Why he was so predisposed towards that languages? Because at that time, at his time, Greek and Latin were the languages of scholars. All the scientists, scholars, they used to study Greek and Latin. Okay, so it was a very convenient language at that time. And nowadays, these languages are almost extinct. They are not undergoing evolution just like English language. Okay, if you read Old English, you will read words like thou and all those things. Okay, but nowadays our English language is becoming shorthanded. Okay, so like I want to go becomes I want to go. It's evolving. Okay, as per the needs. So if we use English language to give the scientific name, then it might happen that with evolution, the scientific name might get changed, which will cause confusion among the scientists. So we are keeping the Greek or Latin language as they are almost dead languages, and there is no change going to happen in those languages. The name should relate to the plant or the organism. Okay. Genus name should be capitalized. We have to start with the capital letter. For example, human. So Homo sapiens is the scientific name. Here it will be capital H. Species name should be in small letters. So sapiens is the species name, which will come like this. It should be italicized or underlined. If I'm writing with hand, I will underline both the names separately. So this is how we write the binomial nomenclature. Now let's come the organism that we have started with earlier. That is leopard. How we are classifying a leopard with the jaguar? Both are spotted cats. Both are having spots on their body. Leopard is having close spots. The spots are very close to each other. Smaller, closer spots like this. Jaguar is having widely spread spots like this. And there are spots in the middle also. So this is how we classify that. Again, this is based on characterization. What is the name of the leopard? Leopard is Panthera. We have already established they belong to the group Panthera because they are a big cat that can roar. And Latin name for leopard is Pardus. Pardus. Okay. So Panthera, Pardus. So this is the leopard and the jaguar. Okay, and hence we have given the scientific name Panthera pardus. Pardus is the Latin name for leopard. Okay. Apart from binomial nomenclature, we are also having trinomial nomenclature. Trinomial nomenclature consists of genus, species name, and subspecies name. Okay. For example, we are having Corvus splendens. So this is the name of a crow. Okay, particular species, subspecies of crow is having this name. Or if we consider Sumatra tiger, then it is given the scientific name Tigris bengalensis sumatrae. So this is a subspecies of a Bengal tiger, which is found only in Sumatra region of Indonesia. So that is how we give the trinomial nomenclature. Now this, once we have like named the organism, we have to get the name approved by certain bodies, certain organizations, which take care that all the scientific principles are followed. And once it is approved, it is officially the organism is recognized by that name and it is published in the journals where other scientists will come to know of that. So what are the bodies we are having? We are having if we are naming a plant, then we will contact this ICBN. That is International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. If we are having ICZN, then for animals, this is International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. Okay. Likewise, we are having other bodies, like if you see ICBAC-N, that is for I stands for international, C for code, BAC for bacteria, bacterial nomenclature. Okay. ICNP, IC international code for nomenclature and for nomenclature of cultivated plants. So here we are naming the cultivated plants. Okay, we have produced a new species of the plants, then cultivated plants. We will contact that organization. One more thing that we should maintain is the generic and the specific name should not have less than 3 letters and not more than 12. So you cannot have a name like CA only or AT only. That is not recognized, and not more than 12 means it cannot be like you have a very long name which is difficult for the scientists to remember or for people to remember. Law of priority. What does law of priority states? If two people have discovered two organisms and they have given their names for approval, the one who has given their name first will get approved. Okay, so that is law of priority. First come, first serve basis. Families and subfamilies should be named after some specific genus. Okay, like Felidae is named after the genus Felis. Okay, main genus. Here we are having two genuses. If you remember, we are having the Panthera also. We are having cats also. Because Panthera consists of big cats, Felis consists of small cats. All are cats only. So hence, Felis genus has been given the priority and it is named after Felidae. Okay, so today we have learned taxonomy. What is taxonomy? Taxonomy is the process of classification of organisms based on certain principles. What are the steps we are following? The steps we are following are characterization, in which we are listing the characteristics, identification, in which we are checking for the similarities and dissimilarities with other known organisms. Then we are going to do classification. Based on our identification, we are going to put the organism into slots or categories. And then we are going to name, nomenclature. So these are the steps of taxonomy. I hope you all understood. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.